It is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. A lot to talk about today. Before we do, really quick, I had a few people in the comments reach out to me asking me what knife this is. This is a knife called the Night Stalker from TCal Knives. They don't pay me a dime. They were nice enough to send me one of these. I carry it every day as a secondary, as a backup with my EDC. It is the Night Stalker. They have an array of knives, TCal knives. Check them out, all handmade, beautiful, top of the line, some of the best knives in the entire world. So to the people commenting, asking, TCal knives, T-K-E-L-L knives, fantastic. So getting back to business here, we have a few articles that I want to share with all of you. The first one coming from the LA Times, titled Palm Springs capped Airbnb rentals. Now some home prices are in free fall. So this is happening right here in my area. This is in the LA Times. And I know a lot of people will continue to say, oh, this is just being repetitive. You keep repeating things. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just reporting the news every day. And I'm just giving you the latest news. It's no later than 24 hours old. But this just came out today. 2 years ago, YouTube star Luan Palmero paid $1.5 million for a chic vacation home in Palm Springs. Today, it says he'd be lucky if he could get $1 million for it. In Palm Springs, a cap on short-term rentals in specified high-demand neighborhoods has all but frozen the market in those communities. Sales are down. Homes are languishing on the market for many, many months. And investors are facing hundreds of thousands of dollars of losses. Check the article out. So basically what the city did was they are limiting in certain neighborhoods how many Airbnb or short-term rentals there can be. And if you sell one of these homes that is allowed to be a short-term rental, it is not grandfathered into the next owner. The next owner has to apply. So it's not grandfathered in from one sale to the next. You've got to apply. And if that cap rate is already met, you're going to be sitting on the sidelines for a very, very long time. It says here, your Airbnb is sold. It will become an overpriced, mostly unoccupied box, getting blasted by the brutal desert sun for most of the year. So that's what the LA Times says. That's what's happening right now. So if you sell an Airbnb, whoever bought it just bought an overpriced, mostly unoccupied box getting blasted by the hot desert sun most of the year. So probably not a good investment now. But you know, when I look at these short-term rentals, VRBO, Airbnb, this was like another gimmick to prop up the real estate market, to prop up home prices. And it looks like it is now game over, because you're seeing this happening in Los Angeles County, you're seeing it happen in New York, it's happening right here in the desert, and you're going to see it happen more and more across the country. Why? Because people who live in a neighborhood don't want to live next to a house where every weekend there's a party, or every weekend there's a new group of people staying up late, making noise, partying, or whatever. And even if they don't, it's an uncomfortable feeling having people every week or every weekend, next door to you that you don't know. That would be an uncomfortable feeling. So you're going to see more of this take place. People are fed up with it, and this is definitely going to affect the housing market, because why did so many homes in the last few years sell in Palm Springs? Well, because people wanted to be real estate moguls. They wanted to buy, a mini hotel, buy a property that more than likely they couldn't even afford. But as long as they had an income, they could rent that property out for, 5 days, 8 days a month, whatever it was, 10 days. They could afford to buy it and have it produce income and pay for that mortgage. Well, what are they going to do now? So again, these are the problems we're going to continue to see in this real estate market. And think about how many people just right here in Palm Springs didn't just buy one house, they bought 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, highly leveraged. And now they cannot rent these homes out because they cannot get a license to rent them out. And they've been waiting a very, very long time, waiting to get one, and they can't get one. And so this is now going to change the buyers coming to this area going, well, if we can't buy a house and do a short-term rental, we're not going to buy a house in that area. That's exactly what's happening. That's why these homes are going down in price, why they're sitting on the market for so long. Here's another one today titled, "No Cash Accepted. Signs Are Bad News for Millions of Americans." So no cash accepted signs. Let me clarify that. No cash accepted signs. That's what they're seeing in the windows. Bad news for millions of Americans. Why is it bad news for millions of Americans? Because millions of Americans don't have a bank account. And I think it's 6 million Americans do not have a bank account. 19 million households don't have a bank account. And the FDIC calls these people unbanked. So you have millions of unbanked people who might not be able to go to that restaurant or shop at that store because they don't have a bank account because that store does not take cash. And I would say this, my opinion only, let me know your opinion on this. If I see an establishment, a store or a restaurant, and I've been to a restaurant before where they weren't taking cash, I just left. I will not do business, I will never do business with an establishment that does not take cash. And I don't think anybody really should. Not just because it cuts a certain group of people out of the economy, but I don't like that they're pushing me into something, that I've got to use this, that I've got to be part of the system. I've got to have a bank account in order to eat a burger at your restaurant or shop at your store. And then you know where it's all going. It's all going to CBDC. You know, we're not taking cash. We're only going to take CBDCs. People without bank accounts are severely affected by this shutout from stores and restaurants that refuse to accept cash. I would refuse to give them my business, and I think you should too. I would deal with an establishment that does accept cash. Again, 6 million people, 19 million households in the US don't have a bank account. When you look outside of the US, over 1 billion people on planet Earth don't have a bank account. And look, there's people out there that don't want a bank account, and I think you should have that choice. It's pretty sad when we have establishments in our own country that won't even accept cash money, dollar bills. I wouldn't deal with them. I don't think you should deal with them. It's somewhere at some point we have to take a stand and say, hey, you know, if you don't accept my physical money, I'm just not going to eat here, or I'm not going to shop here. My opinion. Let me know your comments down below. I think you should have the option. If you want to use this, great. You want to use plastic? Great. You want to use cash? Great. I think everybody should have the option. Here's an interesting article on Fox Business today. 2012 Taco Bell receipt reminds the internet how cheap things were before inflation. So this was pretty interesting. A TikTok user posted a video today of her finding a Taco Bell receipt from 2012. The receipt showed 2 beefy 5-layered burritos. Both of them cost together a combined $2.59. Today, one of those beefy burritos, $3.69. So you're looking at what, almost $8 for something back in 2012 that cost $2.59. And just speaking of this article today, I was at the 99-cent store in Palm Desert today, and haven't been there in a while. I could not believe the prices. There's nothing, literally nothing, 99 cents in that store. Good store, nice store, but there's nothing, literally nothing for 99 cents in that store. Packages are smaller, prices much bigger, very hard to find anything. Maybe you can find, I don't know, maybe you can find a birthday card for 99 cents there. You're not going to find much. It's shocking over the past 3 years how prices have just skyrocketed. And just being at the 99-cent store today, an observation, you know, typically I remember just, you know, being there a long time ago where you could just pull a shopping cart out from by the front door there. There's no shopping carts. You had to like go just scrounge one up in the parking lot. So they don't even have anybody piling up and organizing the shopping carts. You just got to go find one. And so you're just seeing more and more at these establishments where there's less people working there. You've got to do more for yourself. You know, many of these stores, you got to check yourself out. You got to you got to go find a shopping cart somewhere. If you need service, good luck. And pretty soon, I mean, many of the places make you bag, your groceries and check yourself out. And, pretty soon they're going to want you to come in and stock the shelves on top of it. So you're seeing less and less physical bodies at these stores. Here's another one from Fox Business. Layoffs surged 98% in 2023, and it could get worse this year. I would make a forecast. I don't make predictions. I will make a forecast here. Don't have a crystal ball, but I think you're going to see more layoffs this year than last year. It's said that in 2023, we saw 721,677 job cuts compared to the 362,832 the previous year. You're going to see more this year. I truly do believe it. And you need to be preparing the best that you can for it. These people who continue to say that things are great, just going out today, looking at prices again at a 99-cent store, looking at less and less people working. I was at Lowe's today. Literally 90%, it's all self-checkout. They had one register open that wasn't, and they had about 8 self-checkouts. Store was very, very quiet, by the way. But you can tell that things have definitely changed for the worse, and they're continuing to change for the worse. You look at these numbers, and here's one too. National debt now, over $34 trillion. In, about 2 months, we're going to be at $35 trillion. How can anybody say the economy is doing well when we are acquiring so much debt? And guess who's on the hook for it? You are, your kids are, your great-grandkids are on the hook for all this. In this article, U.S. National Debt Tracker for January 22, 2024 on Fox Business Today, please, do your own diligence, look these articles up, do your own homework, don't take my word for it. I know people just think that this is such negativity. This is reality. How do you protect yourself, your family, your wealth, if you're not paying attention to this? I know 40 million people just watched a football game and nobody's paying attention to what is happening right now to their pensions, their retirements, their purchasing power, their debt, what's happening to their standard of living. They just want to ignore this and watch a football game. And these people are going to pay an enormous price for their ignorance. They really, really are. But people out there just think everything is okay because the stock market's up. But how is everything okay when we're over $34 trillion in debt? We just added $4.2 billion of debt since yesterday. Let me repeat that. We just added $4.2 billion of debt since yesterday in 24 hours. That's how quick the debt is spiraling out of control. That's how much debt we're adding in a 24-hour period. You think that that's okay? You think that this is a good economy? You think you're going to be okay? Interest on the debt, it says here, will be $1.4 trillion by the year 2032. $5.4 trillion by 2053. This is just the interest on the debt. There's no way this is sustainable. We're in big trouble. Currently, the interest on the debt is around $700 billion. And people, the 3 or 4 people out there think that this is okay, that this is a good economy. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry if you think things are okay. You can say, well, the stock market's up. Well, the top 10 wealthiest people own 93% of the wealth in the stock market, and the top 1% own a majority of that. Most people in America are not in the stock market. The stock market does not affect them whatsoever. They're going to a dollar store, and they're looking at prices. They're paying rent. They're paying mortgages. They're making a car payment. They're making a credit card payment. They're going to the grocery store going, how in the world am I going to feed my family? Great, the stock market's up 100 points or 300 points or 1,000 points. It doesn't matter to most people. They're looking at the bottom line. They're looking at their checkbook. They're looking at their wallet, and there's nothing left. Here's one from the Hedge today. As delinquency spike, banks are granting fewer credit lines. Fed analyst warns. Credit card delinquencies are at their highest level in more than 12 years. Getting approved for a new line of credit is getting harder. Fed analyst warns. Average rate on a credit card approaching 23%, and they're going as high as 29%. Credit card users pay $14.5 billion in late fees. 49% are carrying a balance. This is a great economy that people now are having to survive with credit cards, buy now, pay later plans. Great economy, isn't it? You know how you judge an economy? with what it's producing, manufacturing, and the debt. We are the biggest debtor nation on planet Earth. We're writing checks we can't cash. We're starting wars we're never going to win. And this is a really, really scary time. You need to be taking this very, very seriously. Here's another one. And let me know your thoughts on this one. This came out a few days ago, but I wanted to touch on it today. As Chinese purchases of U.S. farmland soar, it's becoming impossible to track how much it owns. Apparently, America is for sale to the highest bidder, and it looks like that highest bidder is China. Foreign ownership and investment in U.S. farmland, pastures, and forests jumped about 40 million acres in 2021, up 40% from 2016. Is this acceptable to you that we are selling farmland, pastures, and forests to foreign investors, especially a country like China? Guess who the largest landholder is in America, foreign investment-wise? It is China, of course. Texas has the most foreign-held U.S. agricultural land, 4.7 million acres. China and private oligarchs continue snapping up fertile farmland soil all across America. And it's shocking to me that this is even legal, that this is even allowed. What do you think? Comment down below. Should foreign countries be allowed to purchase land, especially farmland, pastures, and forest in America? I say absolutely not. I think that it's a huge threat. I don't even understand why it's even allowed. Please comment down below. Here's another one from The Hedge today. San Francisco police recruitment drops a whopping 72% from 2019, despite a $112,000 rookie salary. Chicago starting out at $88,000. Shocking. But in San Francisco, only 26 recruits joined in 2023, and they are in the academy right now. How many will even survive the academy? How many will wash out? How many are guaranteed to graduate? We don't know. Could be half of that. So $112,000, nobody wants the job. And we're watching standards in these departments in the military being lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered. And not a good sign. We need the best firemen. We need the best soldiers. We need the best police. The best people should be getting these jobs, and they don't want these jobs. And that's scary. Because imagine if you have an emergency and you have to call for help, whether your house is on fire or somebody's breaking in and you're calling for an emergency. Just thinking that you may not be getting the best humans possible coming to your house to save you, that you're getting people that got the job because first off, they needed the money maybe. It's not really a passion for them. They would never qualified for this job a few years ago, but since the standards are lower and they're desperate for a job, they took the job. These are the people that are coming to your aid. And again, it's another reminder of why you really need to be able to take care of yourself, why you need to be your own security detail, why you need to have certain skills and be proficient in these skills, because the people you're calling could actually be a liability. They really could, and it's sad to say that. But I just think that we should have the best firemen, the best soldiers, the best police, because in that time of need, when you need somebody, you want the best possible human beings there to help you, to save you, to prevent a catastrophic event. But that's not what you're going to get more than likely. It's really, really sad. Another article coming from The Hedge today. America's Year of Living Dangerously, 2024. Think about, again, where we're at as a country. We're short on ships. We're short on planes. Our weapon stocks are dangerously low. We have drained half of our strategic petroleum reserves. We've drained munitions. And our enemies know this. And I believe, and according to this article, that we're going to see a lot of things transpire with our enemies in 2024. Think about China, Taiwan. If China is going to take Taiwan, when do you think they would do it? They would do it this year. This is their window of opportunity. Iran becomes more overt, supplying groups with more weapons. Hezbollah will intensify the fight with Israel. God forbid anything happens right here on U.S. soil. But the possibility of that, the percentage of that happening now has gone up immensely. If something's going to happen, it's probably going to happen this year, 2024. And we as a nation are not prepared for it. Most people as individuals are not prepared for it. Most people don't even have a tourniquet. Most people don't even have a first aid kit. They don't have a trauma kit. Most people have no skills, no training, nothing. Because all they do is sit and watch football games, Netflix, play video games. Maybe, you know, they're on pharmaceuticals, half the country is, or smoking dope. We're not prepared for tough times, ladies and gentlemen. And it's really, really sad to say that. It's sad to sit here and talk about this. But we cannot control what's happening. We cannot control what's going to happen. It's out of our control, period. But what we can control is us and the group of people we hang out with, our circle of friends. Are we training? Are we working on security? Do we have our trauma kits? Do we have our tourniquets? Do we have our food? Do we have our water? Do we have a game plan? Do we have the mental mindset? Do we have the fortitude to get through tough times? This is why you got to have a support group. This is why you got to have good people around you. Most people are going to be just in shock when something happens. And God forbid, I hope it never happens. But more than likely, we're going to see some catastrophic events take place here in America, socially, financially, even spiritually. We're going to see things that we're just not prepared for. So as I leave you today, the best advice I can give anybody is if you're not prepared, if you are prepared, keep preparing. If you're not, start today. There's always something you can do. But doing nothing is going to guarantee that you lose. Things are about to happen. Things are coming. Things are already here that we don't even know about. Just listen to what, you know, Christopher Wray has said multiple times. He's telling you there's people here right now that are going to do harm to you, to your family. Be aware of your surroundings, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the best things I can say. Make sure that you have your EDC carried. Nice little backup, the TCAL Night Stalker right here. Highly recommend something like this. But, you know, a lot of people think it'll never happen to them. A lot of people have that belief that it can never happen to them. It can never happen here in America. And they are sadly mistaken. Make sure you have an insurance policy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have an insurance policy. How many people, you know, on that Titanic never thought that it was going to sink and that they were going to drown to death? Make sure you have a life jacket. Make sure you have a plan that if the ship is going down, you're not going down with the ship. You're going to survive. And what is that? Well, that's training. That's being proficient. That's having security. That's having a plan. That's having a group of people. That's walking close to God. Have a wonderful evening. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. God bless.